What's up, everybody, man? I'm back, man. It's your boy Triple Black, and I'm here. I'm just doing some therapy right now because, man, I've been going through a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff, and I was taking a morning walk today and was reflecting on a lot of stuff that has happened to me in the last couple of months. Man, you know what? It's been over the last year, man, sinking in a hole. Man, you know what, man? I, to be totally honest with you, man, I've not been well. Um, Going through a lot of trials and tribulations when it comes to life. Uh, I could lie to you and say, man, I've made, strides. But the other night, I'm not even going to get into details, but it made me realize, man, I'm so far from where I need to be at. And the thing about life, man, is you're going to go through a lot of trials and tribulations. You're going to go through a lot of storms. And the thing about it was, I listened to TD Jakes, and I'm not really a religious person. And when I was listening to TD Jakes, he said something that really stuck with me. He said, stand tall on your ship. And when you stand tall on your ship and don't let people put water into your ship, you're going to be able to steer that ship anywhere you want to go. And the thing about it is, these last couple of months, going through job loss, separation from my wife, pending divorce, legal issue, just man, and all that water pretty much sunk my ship. I can fortunately say that my ship is still on the water. I still have a chance to keep standing tall. I do know more storms are coming, and there's no way to prepare for them. You just have to really believe that everything happens for a reason. And when you're on your purpose, you can mitigate a lot of those things. And I haven't been podcasting. I haven't been going on YouTube Live. I had to, shut down my channel because I was just going through major, major depression. And the thing about depression and mental health, the connotation of those things sound so negative. Mental health sounds like a crazy person. Nah, there's certain things in life, man, that will put you in that dark hole. Imagine the person that you love is not loving you back, or the child that you put into this world. You have people that didn't contribute to the birth of that child making decisions, judging you. Man, being in the system is one of the most depressing things that you could do. Man. And the thing about it is, man, when I make it through this and I get on my purpose and I strive and I'm successful, because in back of my mind, I know success is there. I know I have the talent. I have the know-how. It's putting together those things. It's putting it all together. And the thing is like, when like a child builds the blocks, that's the thing about children. When they build a whole castle or whatever, and then they just knock it down and they start laughing. When you become adult, you build that thing, and then when it gets knocked down, man, you spend sometimes months, years, decades saying, what if I didn't let this get knocked down? See, children, they don't know any better. So they get up, they start building again, or they go on to the next one. Yeah, man, it's a really tough thing to do, man. It's a really tough thing to do, but I do have the faith. Um, the thing is, I don't really have uncompromising faith. I let, things, people, factors sometimes compromise that faith. And I just got to trust the process. And one of the things I didn't really understand about life, and I was just thinking about hurricanes. I mean, this is a weird correlation that pain, suffering, sometimes that's part of life and it's needed, because sometimes we're sold this dream that your whole life is fun and games. Your whole life is supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be happy. No, this is the part of the process, man. And the way I correlated to hurricanes, I live down in Florida. We have hurricanes here. And sometimes the hurricanes come through and they destroy everything. But it's part of the ecosystem. You need hurricanes because it flushes out stuff. You need them. Without hurricanes, there's a lot of natural things that wouldn't occur. In life, you kind of do need those storms, those hurricanes. And the more and more you go through those hurricanes and those things in life, the better prepared that you could be. If you don't, go through a long-term relationship, like I'll give you an example, myself going through a long-term relationship, first one ever. And, getting advice from different people that's been through long-term relationships, they, tell you, because they've been through it before, focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Get yourself together. Stop trying to control things that you can't control, that are out of your power. It's easier said than done. But when you're in that storm, when you're in that hurricane, when you're in that tornado, it's hard. It's very difficult. It's very difficult, man. Thank you, Z, man. I appreciate that. Makendo, thank you, man. You know what? I gotta spend time with positive people. I gotta get positive people around me. And sometimes, I try to seek that salvation around people, but this is something that I love to do. I love that. So, the people of YouTube, help your boy. I know there's been different things that's been going on YouTube. Not really been well versed on it, but and I can tell you, man, if you are a person that's looking at this thing right now and you're going through some trials and tribulations, seek help, man. Doesn't make you crazy. it doesn't make you insane. It doesn't. The most successful people, they seek help on a daily basis, either through information, either through books, colleagues. They're always surrounding themselves with a support system. And the most important thing is, man, build a support system. Keep that support system. If anything, build multiple support systems. I'm fortunate. I'm really, 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 really fortunate because I've been going through it for months, almost a year, probably a little bit longer than that. And I was like sitting there reflecting. I was like, man, things could have been a lot worse, man. There's people that just make a small mistake and they don't get any second chances. They make a small mistake. They don't get any second chances. You know, here I'm sitting here. I've lost my family. I lost my career. I'm going through a legal case now. Nothing. It's small potatoes. It's not, it's small potatoes. It's not, that big of a deal. I mean, it is a big of a deal, but it's, lost resources. And I keep getting these opportunities, these blessings, and I'm not able to seize on those things because I'm not focused on my purpose. I'm not focused on my purpose. And I need to focus on my purpose. And maybe this last event that felt like I've hit rock bottom offers me the chance to live my purpose. Maybe it does. Now, will everything be perfect from now on? Probably not. But now I'm a little bit more seasoned. I know how to deal with, certain issues. You become accustomed to. Shout out to Jay Jones. Jay Jones is he has a show called the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Great show. And we were having a conversation one time on my podcast about entrepreneurship. And I was like, Jay, man, when did you take the leap to become an entrepreneur? He went into the story, man. He was like, hey, you know what? Is when I became accustomed to not having that job, not having that income, knowing that I got to wake up every morning and I got to go get it. And that was really powerful for me. And I was just thinking about that. I became accustomed to it. I've been accustomed, the last couple months of waking up, one day I'll be on top of the world. Figure I could fight anything, I could do anything. I'll have a string of those things. And then somebody flicks me and it takes me off everything. Everything comes crashing down. And gradually I've learned to take steps to make sure those flicks don't crash you. And they can crash you at any time. You can crash and burn at any time. If you don't know how to get on your purpose. When you're on your purpose, let me take a step back. It's hard to get on your purpose because it's going to take life-changing events. It's going to take trials and tribulations. It's going to take a lot of pain. It's going to take a lot of suffering. You know how they say blood, sweat, and tears? Blood, sweat, and tears. That's when you become on your purpose. And when you become on your purpose, you're going to have so much strength. Little things are not going to get you. But when you're not on your purpose, those little things can get you. You know, somebody can make a comment. Somebody can, you know, send a text message to you. Somebody can take and control your day and just sink your ship. All from one thing. But fortunately for me, I haven't hit rock bottom yet. I thought I hit rock bottom. But I keep seeing reasons to remain faithful, to remain motivated, to remain persistent, to remain all those things that's going to take me to my goals. You know, sometimes, man, you know, people get into certain situations. Enough has happened, and they just start not caring no more. They just kind of just let everything blow up. I don't want to do that, and I'm not going to do that. Those building blocks that I have still, the foundation, and I'm going to keep building on that. Because this last situation that I was in, although it's not the worst ever, because things happen to other people that are far more worse. But the visual of that, the smell of it, everything about it makes me even more motivated to never let that happen again. Man, the anxiety behind a lot of this stuff, boy. Sometimes it's enough to bring you to your knees. I can remember going through, you know, a couple months ago, man. I'm on my knees asking, why? Why me? Why me? Why me? I gotta laugh. Because if you've done anything in life, man, and you're listening to this right now, you can understand where I'm coming from, man. You can understand. There's probably been a period in your life where you were going through something that was so intense, couldn't sleep, couldn't focus, you were angry, and you looked at the outlook and you're like, oh man, this is bleak. There's no way I'm going to make through this. No. There's no way. But when I'm looking back at it now, I'm even more. Some would tell me I wouldn't be as hopeful to make it through, you know, this depression, even though I had something very extenuating happen to me just recently. I'm even more hopeful, which is odd to me. It doesn't make any sense. You would think when you're at your lowest that you would have the least amount of hope. You would have the least amount of inspiration. But nah, uh-uh, uh-uh. The failure, the depression, the disappointment, all those things I needed. I needed this. I needed this. I need this because it's part of life. Because when things get better, I'm going to appreciate it much more. I'm going to appreciate those moments much more. And I understand this is, I mean, we might be talking positive on some pie in the sky type thing. The pie in the sky. I know it's not over yet, but it just makes it a little bit easier. There's going to be probably a bigger giant for me to face in the near future. It's probably going to be a bigger, badder, more horrible situation. But when I look at it from a long-term perspective, I'm hopeful because, you know, being in a marriage, having a child, having a job, you know, career. Sometimes when you think, man, you know, if this person left me or I left this situation or I can't see my child, it would just kill me. It didn't. I remember 5 years ago when I lost my mom. I said, man, when I lose my mom, I won't be able to deal with it. And I did. And when I think back about that situation that situation seemed a lot easier to deal with compared to what I'm going through now. And going through a divorce or going through a separation with someone you love, losing your job, going through a legal situation, when you put those things on a top 5 of the worst things that can happen, those are probably 3 of the worst things that can happen to you besides death. Death is probably like the number 1 thing. Death, divorce, losing your career, losing your family. I gotta laugh, you know, because life can be a tragedy or it could be a comedy, depending on how you look at it. Man, it's so crazy, man. It's so crazy, man. But man, thank you guys so much, man, for coming on my live, man. I got to do this. This is therapy for me. You know, I'm at a place right now, despite what's in my world, I'm at home. I'm at home. You know, a lot of people say, hey, you know what? Keep your business to yourself. Don't tell your business. All these type of things. But this is my purpose. This is definitely my purpose. I feel like this is my purpose. Do you like my opinions? Probably not. A lot of people don't like my opinions. But I think I need to give them. You know, in sharing my life, my experiences, and all those things on YouTube, not everybody can do that. Not everybody is an open book, sort of, like me. And what I can say about that is somebody's going to look at that thing, this video, and be like, man, I'm not the only one that's going through it right now. And I had to laugh at myself the other day, man, because the thing about it is you can become so selfish. You can become so selfish. Like, you can be going through all these things and not realize that the person that you just walked past, the person at the grocery store, the person that you're on the phone with, your coworker, could be going through something much worse. They could be going through something much worse. And I just have to say, one of the things is it's about acceptance. It's about acceptance. It's about forgiveness. Coming to a point where you can accept things how they are. You can forgive yourself. Just forgive yourself. You know, you ever thought about an issue that you just accept it? Doesn't bother you. Doesn't give you anxiety. You just accept it. Ever thought about a situation, something that you did and you forgave yourself? You're unaffected. You don't have that anxiety anymore. But you ever thought about a situation that you didn't accept? You didn't forgive yourself? Have you ever thought about those situations? When you think about those situations, it gives you anxiety, makes you nervous. And what I'm learning is being able to accept things faster. You know, I forgot what that one proverb is like, accept, one of those things, religious saying that it was like, accept the things that I cannot change. Accept the things that I cannot change. That's very powerful, man. It's very, very powerful when you can accept the things that you cannot change. Man, you're going to feel much better about life. You're going to feel much better about where you're going when you can accept the things that you cannot change. And one of the things that I've learned in this process is two important factors: time and energy. Time and energy. Time is not infinite for each person. There's only one, there's only 24 hours in a day, 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. Man, when you take time and energy and focus it on things that you cannot change, that's something that you can't ever get back. Part of being mentally strong mentally grounded. It's acceptance. It's acceptance. It's acceptance and forgiveness. Because when you don't accept things and you don't forgive things, all that energy that you have is going to be wasted. It's going to be wasted. Because if you're trying to change and focus the energy on something that you cannot change, it's like you chasing your tail. Serenity prayer. Let's say it right now. I'm not a religious person, but this is powerful. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Now, if you did something in your life there's nothing that you can do about it to change it. Now, you can change the direction, the type of person you are. You have time to do that. But what's happened has happened. You know, if you lost a loved one, they're not coming back. They're not coming back. Especially if you lost a loved one that you were close with, or you didn't, say anything. I mean, all the things that you wanted to say or do, or you were at odds with them. The only thing that you can change at this point is to make sure that if you have a loved one, that you do all the things, you give them as much love as you can. Because when you have those regretting things, it makes it way, 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 way tougher to forgive yourself or to accept it. The only thing that you can do is just change the type of person that you are and make sure it doesn't happen again. When you do that, you'll learn to forgive yourself. You'll learn to accept things. You'll learn. You'll definitely learn. Man, thank you, Macadol, for giving me that prayer, man. The serenity prayer, man. I think I'm gonna put that on my vision board. And wake up every morning and say that prayer. Because it's very important, man. A lot of times we don't progress in life because we're stuck on things that's happened in our past that's not allowing us to move forward, to stand tall on your ship. You know what? So it makes it impossible. And I can understand in this world, man, there's a lot of things that can definitely keep you from getting where you want to be. There's a lot of stuff, man. There's bad relationships. There's bad people. There's bad advice. There's all these things that are pulling at you. It's like, I was thinking about, my situation. And I'm not going to put all the details, but going through a divorce or a separation. And what I realized that I've been going through this for a long time, and just a certain event kind of made it to where it just happened. And I was just like sitting there thinking about it. Imagine, and this is my perception, someone stabbing you in the back, taking a knife, twisting it. They see blood gushing out, and they're telling you to get up and be stronger than what you were before. Sounds unrealistic, but you have to. You can't sit there and die. Because if you die, the person that stabbed you, they get to live. But even with all that wound and that blood gushing out, if you can find everything in you to get up and win, become successful, that person can't live like they used to, because they're always going to be paranoid that you're going to seek revenge, that you are going to make them pay for what they've done. And the thing is, you don't have to do that, because you can just accept it and move on. And I've been doing a lot of reading through all this stuff. And another powerful thing is The Art of War by Sun Tzu. He said, supreme art of war is disengaging the enemy without fighting. That's crazy, man. Supreme art of war is disengaging the enemy without fighting. That's powerful. And the thing about hitting rock bottom and going through depression, the hardest thing to do is stay positive. That's the hardest thing to do, is keeping faith. I'm keeping faith right now, man. And I'm digging deep right now to put positive energy into the air, man. Because I remember when I was first going through it, I was waking up every morning, working out, doing Instagram videos, putting positivity in the air. And blessing after blessing after blessing was coming my way. Blessing after blessing was coming my way. I was working out, studying, putting all that positive energy into the atmosphere, just putting it into the atmosphere. And I just felt blessing after blessing after blessing after blessing after blessing. And I remained focused. Somewhere, I let up. I let the negative thoughts seep in. I just kept letting negative thoughts seep in to the atmosphere. The negative energy just kept coming and coming and coming with a vengeance. And I just kept sinking back into a hole. Angry, emotional, just just upset all the time, wondering why this, why that, why this, why that, instead of just focusing on a mission and getting to my goals, I started let water into my ship. Next thing you know, I wasn't in control of it anymore. Negativity, triggers. Every time I came into those vices, drinking, partying, all those things that provided temporary relief from the reality of my situation. All those things helped get me to the point that I was the other day, where I thought I hit rock bottom. And I woke up going through those same emotions again. And I thought back, man, dog, I thought I came so far. I thought I came really, 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 really far. You know what? It's really that easy, man. It's really, really, really that easy for you to get pulled down, to get back to where you were at before, to square one. You know, it's like that alcoholic has beaten that disease for years. They slip up, they have a glass of wine. Next thing you know, for the next week, they're downing fifths. And all of a sudden they remember that was the catalyst for their destruction. That was a catalyst for their destruction. The Serenity Prayer, man. Thank you for giving me that, man. I'm going to put that on my vision board. Because you got to remind yourself every day that you have to accept things that you cannot change. If you wake up every morning and you're upset because you're only 5'9", can't change that. If you're waking up every morning and you are obese, you can change that. You can change that. That's one thing that you can change. All you got to do is just develop the courage to get disciplined to do that. Knowing the difference between those two is a very important, critical factor. Someone doesn't love you anymore. Can't change that. You don't have the power to. Now, can you find someone that loves you? Yes. You just have the courage. You have to have the courage to let go and accept that that person doesn't love you and find someone that does love you. It will happen. You know, it will happen. And, you know, rock bottom, it's a state of mind, man. If you feel like you hit rock bottom and you don't do anything about it, you haven't hit rock bottom yet, man. You hit rock bottom when you start making changes, real changes, permanent changes, not temporary changes, permanent. When you realize the catalyst of all your destruction and you change that, you can change a lot of things in your life. If you realize, you wake up and realize, man, you know what? Drugs was the reason I'm at where I'm at right now. Or alcohol, where I'm at right now. And you don't change that, you're gonna stay in that same place. You really, really, really have to look in the mirror. And the thing about it is true happiness, true salvation, or however you want to call it, comes all in all shapes and forms. And one of the things is sometimes, man, we have a misconception. We think that person that is in that house, we think that person that's got, those nice cars, got a big bank account, don't have a set of problems. That couldn't be further from the truth, man. In fact, sometimes they have bigger problems than we do. Sometimes they have way bigger problems than we do. What is happiness? That's a question. I remember the other night, I was out, partying or whatever, just trying to get out the house. And I realized that wasn't happiness for me. I was like, man, imagine. I was like, man, I'd much rather be watching a movie with my wife, my child, making them dinner, making them snacks or whatever. When I equated that feeling to the feeling that I had, I was like, man, it doesn't even compare. It doesn't even compare. And what that did was it allowed me the next day to dream bigger. To dream bigger. Imagine if I'm able to take my family on a vacation, where money wasn't an issue. Or we go car shopping, and I say, honey, whatever on that lot you can get. Or the smile on my son's face if I was able to take him to Disney World or something like that. Or Legoland. That is really, really, for me, true happiness. But when I was in the moment, I didn't really appreciate a lot of those small things that I had access to. It wasn't until I lost it all It wasn't until I lost it all. Man, thank you guys so much, man, for listening. I mean, I'm not even monetized anymore, man. But man, it's a good feeling to get back on YouTube, sharing my thoughts. I've been on here for 50 minutes rambling. I haven't really watched YouTube. I know there's a lot of big YouTubers, and that's another thing is, man, is I fell off. I'm not saying YouTube is my purpose, but that was a part somewhere that really brought me some happiness. It really brought me some happiness. It really brought me to a place to where I can share my thoughts. Give shout out to Soul Travelers. Shout out to Belizean Bling. I mean Bang. All those guys. That were part of. We used to do live streams with each other, and I didn't realize the camaraderie, how important it was to me, and being monetized and stuff like that. I mean, that's just only a smart part of the equation. But me being part of something, me sharing my thoughts, me sharing my experiences, that is part of my purpose, man. I just realized that. I had a podcast. That's part of my purpose. It's part of my purpose. I got to get on that. Now, will I go on it 100%? Probably. Maybe. Maybe not. But I will try my hardest. I'll try my hardest. Because I know it is necessary for my improvement in life. I know it's necessary. So I got to do it. Man, I leave you guys this, man. Let me say that serenity prayer one more time, man. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Powerful, man. But I'm gonna end this stream, man. Like, share this live stream, man. And if you guys have any questions and stuff like that, you can also hit me up on my comment section. My email address is Johnson, JOHNSON MARCE @gmail.com. You know what? I would love to do some live streams with other people, sharing their stories about when they were going through some trials and tribulations and they thought they hit rock bottom. I would love to listen to those things. But man, thank you so much, man, for giving me the time and the courtesy on this YouTube channel. The greatest degree of inner tranquility comes from development of love and compassion. The more we care for the happiness of others, the greater is our own sense of well-being. You know what? I was about to end on that, but thank you so much, man, for saying that, man. And one of the one of the quotes that's that's probably stuck with me for about 10 years is the motivational guru Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar said, "You will get everything in life that you want when you help another person get everything that they want." Powerful. Two great quotes. Those things are going on my vision board, man. Thank you so much, man, for listening, man.